here, then we learned, so last week, the correct posture to sit and work with the computer. And I said that, so you better keep some distance with your monitor, because I saw even in some videos, I saw that some are looking into the monitor very closely. But what is the gap you have to maintain? So here B, what is the gap that you have to maintain with the monitor? Yes, 18 inches or 1.5 feet. Or 18 inches, but don't measure it, no need to measure it and do, but roughly, if you can keep that kind of gap, that is better. Otherwise, you will end up with lot of issues like eye pain, eye stress, eyesight issue, maybe tearful eyes. So because you are, if you are going to look at monitor, if it is like, if your gap is less than 1 feet, so that is not good for your eyes. And always keep in mind, after looking at this monitor periodically, please look at some distance place. Maybe at least for 40 minutes. So but if you can rapidly do this, that is good. You can හැම වෙලේම ඔයාලා මේක දිහා බලන් ඉන්නකොට take a rest. Rest එකක් ගන්න මෙහෙමයි. Look at some distance. ඈත ටිකක් බලන්න. එතකොට ඈත පේන තැනක මේක තියාගත්තා නම් හොඳයි. Right? එතකොට ඇහැට rest එකක් automatically your eye will get a rest when you look at far distance places, because then your eye pressure will be lower. But if you are just looking at this, then the pressure and the light comes to your eye is more, so it will give even headache, right? It is not listed here. Sometimes you might get headache looking at the screen. If you are always looking at mobile phones, that happens. Right? If you're always looking at mobile phones, that happens. Okay, so one was asking question whether practical is done alone. Yes, practical is individual session. Why you need some friends to join with you? I don't think, because the thing is practical should be individual. Why? Because then only we can monitor your progress and we can support your speed. Our instructor will help to do the practical in your speed. Some are slow, some are faster, but he or she will adapt to the particular speed and teach you. Then it's easy for you. But this normally in the general class, so we will do at the same speed. So to avoid that, we have individual practical session. Okay, so those who have difficulties in the language, I always ask you to come for Sinhala medium class and get through this and maybe learn in Sinhala medium too. But if you are doing it in English medium, better so you be at English medium class, and if you can talk in English medium, and if you can ask questions in English medium. But if it is really difficult, it's okay. Let's adapt. Gradually we can adapt it to the language. We can adapt to the language. Okay, these were the things that we discussed last day. Now today, so we have to discuss about electronic garbages and wastage of electronic garbage. Actually, before that, we have one thing here that is a practical, but the thing is, it's quite difficult because you are having different machines. How many of you know how to adjust contrast and brightness of your computer? Computer ke contrast brightness can
a sun picture button, press it, control the brightness.
Yeah, there's a picture of sun. So yes, that what he was telling is the
my computer and the battery.
Sorry? In your laptop keyboard, basically, if you're using a laptop, in laptop keyboard, basically you have this kind of button. Here, let's refer to this one.
F1 button.
Not always F1. That's why I said machine to machine, it's different. there's a button, basically it shows the brightness icon. Here in this one, let's see. Balamu make it. Here, if you can see, let me zoom this. Right. Okay. So here in this laptop, basically there's a button to control the brightness, and here there's an icon of sun. ඉරක් වගේ තියෙන icon එකක් තියෙනවද බලන්න. So FN එකේ icon එක press කරාම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් control කරන්න පුළුවන්. But some keyboards you don't need FN. Some keyboards you don't need FN. Right? FN නැතුවත් පුළුවන්. keyboard එකේ තියෙන අර ඉරක් වගේ icon එකක්. ඒක press කරලා F1 F2 වල තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි එහෙම නොවන වෙලාවලුත් තියෙනවා. In my laptop it is in F1 and F2. Maybe in your laptop it's something else.
Teacher, my laptop is a Dell one.
Yes, Pute. Is there any key to control the one? So basically Dell, let's say Dell laptop.
සර් මගේ එක ඒසර් මේ ජාතිය එකක් ඒක මේ මොකක්ද F1 කොබලා ඊතරය තියෙන්නේ උඩට යටටයි මේ හතක් තියෙන්නේ
Dell එකේ brightness එක කිව්වේ අඩු කරන්න වැඩි කරන්නේ
Dell laptop එකේ මේ වගේ එකක්ද තියෙන්නේ keyboard එක බලන්න let's go to the keyboard. So can you find the icon with the icon with sign, that icon with sun or some kind of thing? Maybe keyboard.
me, sir.
Keyboard එකේ මෙතන තියෙනවනේ arrows වල බලන්න එතන තියෙනවද කියලා. In arrows.
මුලින්ම දැම්මේ පින්තූරයක්.
ඔව්.
අන්න ඒ වගේ එකක් තියෙනවා.
ඒ වගේ එකක්ද? මේ arrow key වල නැද්ද?
ඒසර්ගේ තියන්නේ ඒ වගේ එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ උඩ යට එක නෙමෙයි දෙපැත්ත තියෙන්නේ.
දෙපැත්ත දෙකට. arrow keys වල හරි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට තියෙන කොහෙද දන්නවද? So arrow keys වල හරි මේ උඩම තියෙන set එකේ key set එකේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. බලන්න උඩම තියෙන key set එකේ හරි arrow keys වල හරි තමයි තියෙන්නේ. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තියෙන්නේ තමයි. So maybe when you are doing the individual practical, we'll see what can we done, what can we do. So here in this one you can see it's in here. F12 F11 වල තමයි මේකේ තියෙන්නේ. F12 F11. This is also Dell. F12 and F11. So you have to press FN key and F12 or F11 to control the brightness contrast. FN key and F12 or F11. Some have these keys in keyboard here, up and down keys or left and right. FN with up and down.
කී එක මොකක්ද?
මොකද පුතේ?
Pause break කියන කී එක මොකක්ද?
A pause break is basically when you are programming. So when you are debugging or when you are correcting the errors, you can go step by step using this pause and break. But when you are doing programming, this is very useful, but not now. That's why pause and break is there. Pause will stop, break will exit. Especially it's used in programming.
INS
INS is insert key. Right? So Tinura, I think your one is Toshiba. You can just test, check where it's there, the brightness button in Toshiba laptop.
My one
Is it on all the keyboards?
Yeah, it's most of the keyboard you have that button. If you don't have it in keyboard, you have another method. You can go to your Windows desktop, then right click on the desktop. After right clicking, okay, after right clicking you will get an icon saying display settings. You will get a menu called display settings. Menu එකක් එනවා display settings කියලා. Using that display settings you can change. Using that display settings one you can change it. That is the next method. You have to log into your desktop, Windows, and then right click, and then go to display settings. That is the next method. Okay, let's go back to the lesson. And it is very important because if you make it high brightness is increased to the maximum, what will happen? Then your eyes will affected. It's not good for your eyes. And if you reduce this to the minimum,
I can change my brightness on the battery icon.
Battery icon. Right. Let's say yes, it's like asterisk. It's like asterisk. Asterisk,
Okay.
like, but not exactly the asterisk, right? Not exactly the asterisk because there's a separate asterisk also. No? Okay, so let's move to the next one. That's why I said when doing practicals, doing as a group, it's really, really difficult because different people will feel different things because their machines are different, the environment is different, keyboards are different. So that's why I said it should be individual, right? When you are doing individual practicals, you will overcome these issues. You will not get these issues. Okay, then electronic garbages. So basically, electronic garbages means any hardware device after using that, if it is no more usable, and if we are to throw that away, that is called electronic garbage, electronic waste, right? So electronic waste is one of the most critical problem that most of the countries are facing because of this electronic garbages or electronic wastage, uh, poisoning materials like lead, barium, mercury, beryllium, these things are added to the environment. So these are some kind of poisonings, damaging our kidney, brain, nerves, lungs. Those are cancerous. Even those are used in producing computers, those are cancerous. So I think, right? I think some of you might. So please go and see how this mining happens. Mining happens for the industry of creating silicon chips. Silicon chips වලට වගේම මේ computers, Apple phones වගේ විශේෂයෙන්ම දැන් ඒ වගේ ගත්තම මොන හරි phones හරි මොන හරි හදන එකේ ඒ material mine කරන කට්ටිය බලන්න. ඒ material කියන mining සිංහලෙන් අපි කියනවා මේ පතල්. ඒ materials ගන්න කට්ටිය. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට අසනීප වෙනවා. That is the bitter truth. So they are creating these wonderful machines for us. But people who are mining for these materials and working with these materials, most of the time they are getting sick because of this
Excuse
material.
me, sir.
Yes.
What is meaning of the mercury?
Mercury means the සිංහලෙන් රසදියනේ. රසදිය කියලා කියන්නේ. Mercury. අර මේවවල තියෙන්නේ නේද? Mercury means it's there in this. What you
Yes,
call?
sir.
මොනවාද මේ උෂ්ණත්වමානවල එහෙම තියෙන temperature measurement thermometers. Mercury, but nowadays the recent thermometers, they are digital, right? They don't use this mercury because it's dangerous. Earlier days they use, but nowadays it is digital.
Why, sir?
Because it's dangerous for our skin, it's dangerous for it's mercury is kind of like it's damaging the kidneys and all. So in most of the time, so why these people in Anuradhapura area and all, because of this, they are using these regularly with different kind of, different kind of they are using for their cultivation, different kind of materials or chemicals they are using for cultivation. So that is damaging their own kidneys. So that's why most of the kidney diseases are there in the Anuradhapura area. The water is spoiled, it's poison. And I got to know that it's really not good to eat some kind of fisheries. So those in those lakes and all, because they are poison, right? So because of these materials. Okay, so but they are not using computers, right? They are not using computer wastage. That's because of the chemicals that you are using. They are using
දැන්
in
ලීඩ් කියනවා
lead. Lead සිංහලෙන් මොකක්ද? lead කියන්නේ තඹ නේද? Right. I think better if refer to the singular one as well, because the translation is kind of lead. Lead is also not good. Right. So you can see, sorry, barium is barium. So no single translation for barium. Beryllium is beryllium. Those are some chemicals or the